The Daily Survey with Rhea Rams is about to go live online. Catch the top monster hits of the day based on your votes and other TDS goodness. Streaming video on the Monster Facebook page at RX931, the Monster YouTube channel at RX931, and twitch.tv/Monster RX931. Your TDS host, Rhea Rams. Stand by and enjoy the program.
Friends with the monster, calling for a monster. 'Cause I'm in love with a monster.
Monster RX93.1.
Manila's hottest monster, RX93.1. That was Maren Morris with Push Me Over at 11:15 in the morning. Time that song was brought to you by Ajinomoto Soup and Go. Make good mornings brighter with the Soup and Go. Welcome back to the Daily Survey Monsters. It's still me, Rhea Rams, keeping you guys company all the way until 1 p.m. And I am being joined by someone very special. So let us welcome her to the monster. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monster. It's Ena Mori. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here with us. Ena Mori is here with us.
Woo!
Filipino-Japanese singer-songwriter, for those of you who don't know. But of course, was there anything else that you want the monsters to know about you?
I'm Virgo.
Woohoo!
Virgo.
Let's go!
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
September, Virgo. Yeah, that's pretty much all you have to know about me.
Are you the type who's like very into the astrology thing?
Ooh, you know what? Actually, I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I do understand the what do you call that? The goodness in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the fun in
Yeah.
the astrology.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see the similarities and the differences between different like signs, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it has its own characteristics, which I feel like it is accurate sometimes.
Right,
So
right.
it's fun
Yeah.
to
Now,
look at it. Yeah.
of course, we do want to talk about you as a singer, as a songwriter.
Yeah.
And you have had such a big year. Now, You performed in London. You got the Rule Breaker Award in the Billboard Philippines, and you're releasing songs like Heartache Generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your latest single, Trust Me,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there have been so many great things coming for you over the past year. Now, what would you say has been the biggest highlight for you this year so far?
Ooh. Okay. I think the biggest highlight is, yeah, the London show that you've mentioned. I think that that's something that I've never expected me to do this year, and I was there for like a month alone, and it was such
Ooh.
a challenge that it became kind of like my core memory in a sense where, I learned so much from that show, and yeah, it's such a memorable moment. So yeah,
Right.
that's my highlight.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. And I mean, right now, just this year, you've been doing amazing things in terms of music.
Yep.
How did this start? How did you realize, like, okay, music is what I wanted to do? Or
Yeah.
that you could even do music in the first place?
Oh, I still don't know if I can continue doing.
Oh, come on.
No. I think I just knew that music was the only thing I was interested in. I started music when I was 6, and I started as playing one of my mom's piano that she had like as a
Mhm.
hobby before. And since then, I never took interest in anything else, and I was not really quite good at anything else as well. So it was kind of like my option was so small.
It's this or
that
nothing.
It's either this one, or I really have to work hard to find another thing. And yeah, I've always loved music. I always listened to it. I always felt comfort in it. It's something that was really part of me for a long time. So yeah, I can't really tell when I really realized I wanted to do this. It was always kind of I was been doing it,
Right.
and eventually it became like a part of my job. in a
Right.
sense. Yeah.
It's like you were born to do it somehow.
Oh, yeah, I think so. And I think I was highly influenced with, how I grew up, I think. Because, I didn't really grow up as a musical household in a sense.
Mhm.
My mom just did piano as a hobby.
Right.
It wasn't something that I was kind of feed into it. But, it was my like a biggest hobby that I had, and I'm really grateful that I was able to continue doing it as a job. 'Cause,
Right.
it's very rare
Right.
to be able to do something that you love as like one of your income,
Exactly.
to eat bread.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of influences, you did say that you didn't really have influences at home, but would there be any artists that you would say really inspired you? Any
Yeah.
musical heroes?
I think there's so many, throughout the stages of, listening to music. There's so many. But I think one turning point, I started as classical.
Ooh.
I That was kind of like my starting point in music, is I started playing classical piano. So I've been a pianist for like 12 years.
Wow.
But like throughout the 12 years, I was getting kind of sick and tired of classical. I love classical. It's one of my favorite music that I listen to. But I remember that, I think I was just hitting puberty. I just wanted to feel cool because everyone
Right.
was listening to Avril Lavigne. What am I doing? Right? I
Right.
felt so out of place. So one of my favorite one was my dad has a CD
Mhm.
that he made it for his car commute, and he had Queen in the CD, and that really really struck me because it has some classical elements and still rock and roll,
Right.
and yeah, I just really thought that was really cool,
Right.
and
And
from there, yeah.
And with your background in classical music, would you say that it plays a part in the music that you create now?
Oh yeah, I think that's really one of I think it's the biggest foundation that I have
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to music. and anything that I do, and any decision I make, I feel like it's based off of my experience in classical. But you know, it's nice because I get to kind of break the rules from this, within the uh, I guess theory that we talked about in a long time. And yeah, it's fun. It's fun to know the rules and get to break it.
Right.
And your song.
Yeah, actually, I absolutely love when, I would say, music that's a little bit more
Mhm.
mellow
Mhm.
is mixed with like a genre that you wouldn't expect it to be like mixed with
Yeah.
or blended with.
Yeah.
It just creates such an amazing sound, and that's
Yeah.
that's what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's
Essentially.
yeah, I really try my best to blend a lot of things, and I think that really, it's one of those interesting thing where it widens your audience.
Right.
It's something that pushes more than just one realm of world, in a sense, the sound wise. So yeah, I try my best to implement that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And now, aside from your influence from classical
Mhm.
music, when it comes to songwriting, in terms of lyrics, in terms of the
Mhm.
content, the message of your song, where do you get inspiration from that?
Well, songwriting, I think it's really years of just collecting. So I have a notebook with me
Mm-hmm.
all at all times. I just like put random words that I thought, I have the word brat in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like random words that I've heard that is really inspiring, and it has something that tickles my brain. So I just have it in my notebook, and whenever I have to, pull something out. from
Right.
it. Because I have really bad memory. I can't really, write it on top of my dome. But
Right.
it's really helpful. I just keep it in my notebook, and I just like, reading books and getting inspiration. I also like to be outdoor sometimes to kind of change my environment. But ultimately, I super when I'm locked in, I love to write it in my room and
Right.
just focus. But yeah, I try my best to write every day. It's something
Wow.
that not a lot of people do, I think, but it's helping me more because I do procrastinate a lot, and when I do procrastinate, it just never start again. So rather, I will just try my best to do it more constantly,
Right.
like a routine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I find that so interesting, like just writing random words on your notebook.
Yeah.
Is there any like word in particular that you were like, why is this here?
Ooh, I mean, brat is one, but
Brat.
what is it? I should look into it, but I think I have like some word like parkour. I don't know, like those things. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
parkour. Have you used
Parkour.
that in a song?
No,
Not yet.
But I would love to though.
Yeah,
It will be so cool to have parkour.
Yeah.
If you guys remember parkour, it's giving 90s,
Right.
early 2005.
Yeah, like
Parkour.
maybe it could be about
The
nostalgia, right? Or
Yeah,
maybe
it
it could
can
also
be.
be about like taking risks.
Yeah,
not,
it can.
Right?
It can be. Don't start
Ooh.
doing parkour. But yeah. So these kind of interesting words that I've heard. I try my best to kind of write it down,
Right.
so that I could get some inspiration.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be looking forward to that parkour song. Now, you also have your latest single called Trust Me, and it's about self-worth, your insecurities, and honesty in relationships. Why was it important for you to share this message, and what inspired you to write this song in particular?
So I think it really stems through my how I grew up and how my childhood was like, because I did move a lot when I was still little, and I think throughout moving and changing schools, I think that earning somebody's trust is something that I really worked hard on, and I never got it. It's something that I think it just didn't happen naturally, and I saw myself kind of forcing that to happen almost, and not really letting my true, I guess, colors shine in a sense. Yeah, and I don't know, it just felt like it was kind of giving homage to my teenage years where I didn't know how to have friends
Right.
truly,
Yeah.
how to build friendship with trust rather than having to be liked or having to
Right.
be attractive or these kind of things. I think that trust is something that I value more than almost like love, in a
Right.
sense na like it's like the highest honor to have from
Right.
a friend. Yeah, so I don't know, it was kind of like an interesting perspective that I wanted to kind of build off of in
Right.
the sense. And ultimately trusting yourself, because
Mm.
you also, it really stems from insecurity, that
Yes.
you're not trustworthy. And I feel like I'm not consistent sometimes. So
Well,
yeah.
it isn't like it doesn't happen overnight, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you're a work in progress. Everyone
Yeah.
is. What's important is that you just keep at it,
Yeah.
right? And actually, I find this very interesting because normally songs are about not being able to trust somebody else.
Yeah,
But this
exactly.
time it's about you not being trusted, you not
Yeah.
being trustworthy.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting perspective. And monsters, we are gonna hear this song in a little bit.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. But of course, we do want to greet you a belated happy birthday. You did
Oh,
just
thank
celebrate
you.
your birthday
But
on
it's your
September
birthday.
1.
You shouldn't greet me. It's
No,
your
of
birthday. Happy
course.
birthday.
We can greet each other and celebrate together.
Yay.
But in relation to your birthday, you have this tradition, right?
Mhm.
You celebrate your birthday by through a show called
Yeah.
Ena Matsuri. And Ena Matsuri is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's about tradition, right? It's like about rituals, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
so Matsuri is kind of like it just translates into festival. So
Okay.
we do have in Japanese it's Matsuri. It's a
Matsuri.
yeah, it means festivals. We
Okay.
do have traditional festivals that we usually have around like June or July.
Mhm.
These kind of summer festivals. We also have like it's just people getting together and doing fun stuff. That's pretty much what Matsuri is.
Right.
And I feel like this is like a version of that.
And
Yeah.
how did you choose to start this tradition? Like, what made you do this?
Yeah, I mean, it just really happened naturally. It last year was like the first Matsuri that we did. And it was just really, inviting a bunch of my friends to
Right.
perform, and it,
Mm.
it was a little bit of a different feel last year. But I think I've always had, I think every artist does, it's not just me, but I just always had like an ideal, festival in my mind that, oh, this is gonna be like, I want this color to be here, and
Right.
oh, I want like 10 bathrooms to be available. These kind of things, like you kind of make your imaginary festival in your head. And I've always wanted to make a show
Mhm.
of my own, but I never got the chance to. And I think that it was like a perfect timing. It just happened naturally since I was promoting an
Right.
album that time. So yeah, and last year was great. We had a good time, so I decided to do it this year as well. And this year's a little bit different though. It's indoors, so it's a little bit more kind of cozy, kind of dungeon
Ooh.
vibes. And the artist that's performing is a little bit different because I'm kind of focusing on a lot of the local artists that are more on the electronic side of artists.
Okay.
So many of the lineups are different styles, but in a electronic
Right.
realm of lineup. Yeah. So I think it's fresh because we haven't really seen like a lot of different styles of electronic artists in one day. It's so rare. We see here and there, but it's nice to come together. And electronic art music has been like the biggest influence in my life. So I'm very excited to just watch as an audience and also perform
Right.
alongside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. I mean, it will feature rave, hyperpop, electronic music,
Yeah.
dance music. I
Yeah.
mean, is this also the direction that we can see your music in the future going at?
Yeah, I think so. I think there will be elements like that because I've been listening to a lot of deep house, rave, also electronic artists recently, and
Mhm.
a lot of the music that I make will probably stem through what I'm listening to currently. So yeah, I could say it's part of the little sound that I'm making. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be looking forward to that. Well, why don't you invite all our listeners to go to Ena Matsuri?
Yeah, so Ena Matsuri is happening on September 21. It's gonna be held in Justin Bella Alonte's studio. It's in Makati. It's like a photography studio, but we're gonna make it into like a little. We'll put speakers, we'll put lights, and it's gonna be a very cool fan vibes. And yeah, bring your umbrellas, it might rain but it's indoors, so no worries. And yeah, I hope you guys can bring your friends and your soulmates.
Hey, and aside from Ena Matsuri, is there any other shows? Are there
Yeah.
any other shows that you want to share with Monsters?
Yeah, so I do have shows coming up outside of the Philippines as well. Aside from Ena Matsuri, I have a show South by Southwest in Australia, sorry. South by Southwest Sydney coming up
Hey.
on October. Very excited. I'm
Mhm.
planning to do a little fundraise for that because it's very expensive. But
Right.
if you could, help me out, that would be really, really awesome. I'm very excited to, represent the Philippines for that. And we also have a festival in Japan that I'm performing in Fukuoka. Actually, I've never performed in Fukuoka before, so I'm very excited. That's gonna be in October as well. And yeah, just writing new materials, making myself busy,
Mhm.
and yeah, being the biggest fan of music daily. Yeah, that's what I'm up to.
All right. Well, if our monsters want to stay updated on your shows, on your new music, where can they
Yep.
find you online?
You could find me almost anywhere, but Enema, Enemy, Enema, sorry,
You got this.
Mori Music at Mori Music. Yeah, that will be my Instagram and also Facebook.
All right.
Yeah.
Ena Mori Music online, everyone. So if you guys want to stay updated, make sure to give her a follow and check her out. Now, as we wrap up, why don't you give a message to all your fans who are tuned in right now?
I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to my music and supporting throughout my journey, and I really appreciate it. I'm so excited to see all of you in different shows. Yeah.
All right. Well, Ena, I think it is time to play your song. But before that, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us here on the Monster. It has been such a
Of
great time
course, thank
talking
you for
to
having
you.
me. Yay.
And again, belated happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
We're really looking
We're just over
forward
it. Yeah.
to your little celebration.
Yes.
So we can't wait to hear about it on your socials. Again, that's at Ena Mori Music online, everybody. Okay.
Yay.
Now we do have to go, but Ena, do you want to do the honors and introduce your song to the monsters?
All right. So this is a song called "Trust Me."
All right, here's "Trust Me" by Ena Mori, only here on the Monster.
Monster exclusive interview only on Manila's hottest Monster RX 93.1.